It's 3:30 and the final release bell at the local high school rings. Students begin to head for extracurricular activities, gathering with friends, and eventually heading for home for a family dinner, study time, and a good night's rest. However, for more than 350 students who have become homeless and are without adult supervision or a place to stay, the real work of surviving while trying to stay in school is just beginning. It is estimated that in Eugene 4J and Bethel school districts alone, there are close to 1,400 students who will experience homelessness, and more than 350 of those who are living on their own without a parent or guardian for support while navigating the perils of street life and emergency shelter care. According to Megan Shultz of Eugene's 15th Night, the time frame for saving a child from permanent homelessness is as short as just 15 days.
So the 15th Night is an observation made by Looking Glass Community Services that youth who are new to the street, they call them the newbies, are more likely to become chronically homeless if they spend a 15th night on the street. So the whole goal of 15th Night as a community is, what do we do as a community to ensure that newbies don't spend a 15th night on the street? What's it going to take to do that?
Recent headlines are full of the perils that homeless teen girls face if they choose to become an unsupervised youth on the streets. But often, the choice is one of their own safety and survival.
We hear stories of kids saying things like, I feel safer on the street than I do at home. My parents are, using, and there's a lot of sketchy people in the house, and sometimes I don't have electricity, and sometimes there's not food, and sometimes I have trouble getting to school, so I feel like I can just make it on my own. I have a better chance of making it on my own if I leave home. Part of that has to do, I think, with a lot of family dysfunction, so families that can't support each other, can't get along, so you get this kid that's caught in the middle.
St. Vincent dePaul of Lane County has created a solution that is innovative and comprehensive while offering hope for homeless teen girls in the form of housing, counseling, food, and support so that they may finish their education, opening doors to success in their future. Paul Neville tells the story of how the Youth House was conceived.
4 years ago, the representatives from the three area school districts, Eugene, Bethel, and Willamette, came to Terry McDonald, the executive director of St. Vincent de Paul Society of Lane County. So they came to Terry and they said, we need your help because we've got far too many homeless kids in our districts. And at that time, there were 120, about 120 or 140 homeless kids who were actually enrolled in high schools, not with their families. So they said, these kids have nothing, they have no place to stay oftentimes, they're couch surfing on friends, being booted out and then trying to find someplace else to stay. They have no stability, they have no resources, there's no state funding for them, there's no transitional housing, places where they can stay for an extended period of time. So they said, we need your help, what can you do to help us? And so Terry came up with an idea of putting these kids to work in our retail thrift stores. And specifically, we're putting them to work in an area that they enjoy, and that's sorting books. And we have great book sections in our stores, and they seem to really enjoy taking the books, sorting through them, and keeping our book sections in good shape. About a year ago, actually about 14 months ago, we got a call that there was a church for sale. So Terry McDonald and I got in the car, ran over here. There was a broker waiting, not happy to see us because he had a full price offer. We came out and we got in the car and I said, Terry, what do you think? And Terry says, I'm thinking, let's take that work program we have for homeless teens and let's take it to the next level. Let's give them housing, but let's not stop at housing. Let's give them social services, a caseworker. Let's find a way to really escalate this and give kids an extended period in which they're going to receive services and a lot of things that normal kids have.
According to Executive Director Terry McDonald, education is job number one.
So the primary goal continues to be making sure that these kids have a stable foundation to launch off of as they move forward. So if they work, great. then they'll have some money that they get to bring in, and they can have a little nest egg to move out. But more importantly, I need them to focus on their primary job, which is getting an education and getting stable. So yes, they can certainly take advantage of that, and they can certainly be useful parts of our organization, and they can do that afterwards after they graduate as well. But again, their primary job, in my opinion, is finishing school.
One thing we did right at the beginning is we decided we were going to work with homeless kids on the design of the facility and in talking about the programs. One of the girls who confided that she'd been abused on the street, sexually abused, and was pretty traumatized by that, and could not be in the company of large groups of people without getting migraine headaches. I remember her just holding her temples and saying to the architect and myself, just make this as normal as possible. I've never had normal. I've never, give us homeless girls the normalcy that other kids have and take for granted. So that's what we tried to do. That's been our blueprint for making this facility. The idea here is to give girls a place where they can go, where they can close the door, be safe, be alone, particularly those with trauma. That means a lot. So these are all things that we want to do to help prepare them for the next stages of adult life. We're recycling, but we're not recycling a building. Well, maybe we are, but what we're really recycling are these kids who are headed for the landfill. And we're going to turn that around, and we're going to give them a new life that's unexpected and is one that will change the course of their lives and their children's children's lives.
But what happens after graduation and the time comes to enter the next stage of adulthood?
One of the problems always is if you're a young person and you're graduating from high school and you're trying to move on with your life, is what you're going to do the step after. Financial constraints for these kids are going to be the same as they were when they started in the program. So the result is that it would be really nice to find a way to help them find the next step that they would go toward. Rotary's participation in getting scholarships for these kids would be just absolutely wonderful, because it gives them renewed hope that there's a goal that they can achieve after they leave the housing. And that's really important.
This is where the new Youth House special scholarship from Southtowne Rotary helps bridge the gap. Southtowne Rotary in Eugene, Oregon has been dedicated to doing good in the world through local and international projects since our founding in 1975. With more than 100 members, we're currently the second largest Rotary Club in Eugene and was recently voted the Outstanding Large Club of the Year in our district. Our Rotary motto is service above self, and to honor that commitment, Southtowne Rotary has devoted countless hours and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to help create new educational opportunities for youth, distribute aid to the disabled and homeless, provide food for the underprivileged, improve outdoor and recreational living environments, and support visual and performing arts. Our service to the community takes place not only with the direct involvement by our club members, but also through our monetary contributions to local scholarships and projects through our Southtowne Rotary Foundation.
Rotary makes things happen in our world, but just right here in our own hometown, they make so many. We couldn't do a lot of the things that we have done as a community to support children and families and struggling community members without Rotary. Like, it just would never have been possible, would not have happened. Like, I can't imagine a world without Rotary. So I'm thankful, and I know like so many other people are thankful that you guys are boots on the ground and you're making things happen. You're not just talking about it, you're doing it.
One of the nice things about Rotary is that it is both so local, but it's also so global. So it builds lots of relationships here locally, and its services that it gives to the community, as well as to other members. But what we really appreciate about Rotary is its long-term commitment to community needs. And this is going back years and years and years of when we first started working with Rotary, whether it's at First Place Family Center, getting that rehabilitated, or whether it's Sock It To Me, getting underwear and socks to the homeless during this winter period of time, or whether it's the Polio Plus program. I mean, it's astounding the reach of Rotary, both locally and internationally. And so it's been an organization that we really appreciated working with over the years and want to continue that relationship.
And you can be part of this mission by donating to the Youth House Scholarship Fund or attending Southtowne Rotary's Wine and Salmon Festival on March 2nd, featuring keynote speaker Terry McDonald, which will help raise funds for a variety of local projects, including the Youth House Special Scholarship. St. Vincent dePaul, in partnership with Southtowne Rotary, offering hope, opportunity, and a chance for a new future.